So we wanted to do a study that would ask about what was going on during this 2-month interval that it took to shift from the control state to the calorie restricted state. We thought it would be interesting to see how many of the genes that are like long-term calorie restricted gene changes would be recapitulated in just that interval that it took to start the anti-cancer life-extending effects. And so we did an experiment with old mice. The 33-month-old mice are very old mice. We had a control group that had eaten almost all they wanted their whole life. They weren't obese. Some that were restricted for 2 weeks, that had eaten almost all they wanted their whole life, but now they were restricted for 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 8 weeks, or had been lifelong calorie restricted, or were lifelong calorie restricted and then were shifted to control feeding for just 8 weeks. So we wanted to look at the transition back. And here's some of the results we got. Well, let's not look at these ones because they're a little more complicated to interpret. The simple case is over here, and most of the genes are in the simple case. And that is if you switch to CR for 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 8 weeks, you saw a gradual turnover of genes from the control level of expression to the level of expression that they had after a lifetime of CR. Now, there were some genes that took longer than 8 weeks to change, clearly, because they were changed by lifelong CR, but not by 8 weeks of CR. So not everything changed, but the vast majority of them changed. And then, interestingly, even these genes that took longer than 8 weeks to change, all of them changed back to control levels. Even after a lifetime at these levels, in 8 weeks of control feeding, they would shift back. So it goes away as fast, even faster maybe than it comes. So we were